Monuments are markers in history. They are memorials to represent a noticeable event in history or a notable person in history. To destroy these monuments is to destroy history. Whether you like the history or not, it's history. You cannot do away with what has happened. There are many monuments that I don't know anything about that I've come across in my time, and there's a lot of monuments I do know, and the reason for them I really don't agree with or question, but they're there for our understanding of where we've come from that point. And to destroy them is ignorant. It's stupid. And so, just to give you an example, which this one I know about a little bit, is in Lafayette Square in New Orleans. It's right across the street from Gallia Hall, where the city's hall or city hall was there for 100 years. From 1853 to 1953, it was the city hall. Beautiful building. But anyhow, there's a square across from that. And in that square, there's a monument of John McDonough. Recently, a mob of ignorant, stupid, disrespectful children pulled down the monument and threw it into the Mississippi River. Why? Because he owned slaves. Back in the he lived in New Orleans for about 1810 to 1850. Did a lot for the city. But I'm going to get to that. In 1840 in New Orleans, there was approximately 60,000 whites, 24,000 slaves, and 20,000 free people of color. The free people of color owned slaves, as did some of the whites. For example, Marie Laveau, a free woman of color, the renowned voodoo priestess, whose tomb is in the St. Louis Cemetery and is the second most visited tomb in the United States behind Elvis Presley's. She owned 8 slaves, 2 of which have been entered into her tomb, the same tomb that she's in. Her mother was a freed slave, and the woman that freed her bought her freedom. She was a slave and she bought her freedom. So John McDonough, getting back to John McDonough was a wealthy slave owner who provided his slaves with skills and time to work for themselves to save their own money, for when John would set them free, they were set free and they were ready to be free and prosper. When he died, he gave to the city of New Orleans enough funds for the city to build and help maintain 40 schools for all children. Yes, he owned slaves, and he took care of them physically, provided education, built them a church for them to worship, and when John died, he gave his mansions to his slaves. Why did these ignorant, stupid imbeciles take down his monument? The law enforcement needs to not allow this to happen. This is lawlessness. This is ignorance of history, and its stupidity abounds. And unfortunately, there's too much, it's an epidemic of it today. My name's John. You can contact me at WSM217@gmail.com. Jesus loves you. And Mr. McDonough was a believer. He was a born-again believer. He was a Christian. And of course, you can see that it showed in his life and his generosity. He helped a lot of people out. I could tell you more about what he did, but this is long enough. And if you'd like to know more, email me. WSM217@gmail.com. God bless you. And if you were to die today, why would God allow you in his heaven? What would you tell him?